If you're receiving Social Security retirement, SSDI, SSI, VA benefits, or if you're a low-income earner, older adult, or even someone with no income, you're probably asking the same question many others are. Do I qualify for the new $600 stimulus check, also referred to as the rebate check? Let's clear the air and break this all down in plain, simple terms. Over the past several days, thousands of Americans have been asking the same thing. Am I included in this new stimulus proposal? And rightfully so. When a new economic relief plan is introduced, everyone wants to know if they're eligible, how to receive the money, and what steps, if any, need to be taken. So here's the bottom line. The newly proposed $600 payment is structured in a way that mirrors the three previous stimulus checks we saw during 2020-2021. Yes, those payments of $1,200, $600, and $1,400. If you received any of those, you're already familiar with the structure, even if you didn't realize it. Let's rewind for a second. All three of those payments were categorized as refundable tax credits. But don't let the tax language throw you off. Refundable simply means that even if your income was zero, yes, zero, you still qualified to receive the money as a direct payment. So it didn't matter whether or not you filed a tax return. It showed up either by direct deposit or by check in the mail. Now, with this new $600 proposal, officially called the American Worker Rebate Act of 2025, we're seeing the same setup. The term worker in the name is causing a lot of confusion, especially among people who are currently retired or unable to work. But here's the truth. The name of the bill doesn't define eligibility. It's just a title. You don't need to be actively working today to be considered eligible. Millions of Americans who aren't currently employed but receive government benefits are still on the radar for this type of relief. So don't get caught up with the word worker. It's not as important as the structure of the payment itself. Now let's address a concern many of you have raised. I don't file taxes. Does that mean I'll be left out? Here's where things get interesting. Even if you don't typically file a federal tax return, you may still be included automatically. Just like in the past. Back when the stimulus checks were first rolled out, Social Security, the VA, and other agencies worked with the Treasury Department to provide the necessary details, names, addresses, bank information. That collaboration ensured that people on fixed incomes still got their payments without having to jump through hoops. So if the same process is followed again this time, and there's every reason to believe it could be, it's possible that the IRS or Treasury will receive your information directly from those federal agencies, and you'll see the money land in your account automatically. Now, if that doesn't happen, and that's a big if right now, the backup option would be for individuals to file a simplified tax return to claim the credit. That doesn't mean paying taxes. It just means documenting your information to qualify for the refundable credit. Even if your income is $0, filing this form could unlock the payment for you. But I want to emphasize something important here. Do not take any action yet. At this point, the rebate is still in the proposal phase. It hasn't been signed into law, so there's nothing to file, nothing to register for, nothing to apply to. I get it. The moment news like this hits, the instinct is to jump ahead and figure out how to claim your piece of the pie. But patience here is key. Wait until the law is finalized and the exact process is laid out. Only then will we know whether action will be required on your part, or whether the money will simply show up like it did before. Let's take a moment to really simplify this. This $600 payment is being designed as a refundable tax credit. That means even people who don't pay taxes can receive it. It could be advanced to eligible recipients just like the earlier stimulus payments were. And based on that setup, it likely includes Social Security retirement recipients, SSDI beneficiaries, SSI recipients, veterans receiving VA benefits, railroad retirement beneficiaries, low-income individuals, those with no current income, seniors and disabled adults. If you fall into any of those categories and received any of the previous stimulus checks, you are likely going to be included again, provided this legislation moves forward. And remember, even if you don't have recent tax records, the government still receives documents like the SSA 1099 from Social Security and other benefit statements. That gives them enough insight into your income and status to determine your eligibility. Let's recap. This new $600 check is part of the proposed American Worker Rebate Act of 2025. It's being set up the same way as past stimulus checks, as a refundable tax credit. It likely includes most people who receive Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, or other federal benefits. Filing a tax return may not be required, just as it wasn't for most people in 2020 and 2021. If the legislation passes, automatic payments could go out using information already on file with federal agencies. No action is needed right now. Sit tight until more instructions are announced. And finally, don't let the title of the bill mislead you. Worker is just a label. It does not exclude seniors, retirees, or disabled individuals. We've been down this road before. The government has the tools and infrastructure in place to reach most people who need this help, even if you don't normally file taxes. And if it comes down to taking a simple step, like filing a one-page form to unlock $600, then that's a pretty worthwhile use of your time. But again, wait for guidance. Don't act until it's official. I'll continue watching this story closely and bring you updates the moment they happen. You won't need to dig through news sites or legal documents. I'll lay it out clearly and concisely so you know exactly what to do when the time comes. Until then, stay informed, stay prepared, and remember, you're not forgotten in this. Lawmakers know millions of Americans are counting on some relief, and this rebate is one more sign that discussions are happening to address that need. If you have more questions about your specific situation, whether it's about SSDI, SSI, VA benefits, or anything else, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them or address them in a future update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon with more information as this story develops.